conjured from the mind of Suda51 while he was on the toilet, where all the best work gets done. And written by James Gunn, who made some awesome movies, not just the Guardians films, but also Super, and the first two Scooby-Doo movies, aka the best Scooby-Doo things ever made.
Keeping it real.
Lollipop Chainsaw follows Juliet Starling, a cheerleader zombie hunter who, on her way to school, runs into an undead horde. Threatened with the end of the world, Juliet and her newly beheaded boyfriend Nick must stop the zombie apocalypse. And on her birthday of all days, her 18th birthday. That's right, boys, whip out your dick, she's legal. Like that was gonna stop you fucking heathens anyways.
Coming soon to home video.
The game is a hack and slasher, and a basic one at that. You got your high and low attacks, a pom-pom attack that can stun zombies. Any subsequent chainsaw attack will pop their heads off. Doing 3 or more decapitations at the same time will result in a sparkle hunting screen. I could see how people might find this annoying, repeatedly slowing down the pace of an action game. But to me it's satisfying, as sometimes it can be tricky actually lining up zombies to pull this off. And knowing that I'm a couple platinum medals closer to buying another costume doesn't hurt.
Check this out!
When you write a screenplay, you have a character say something to another character, and you have to write one line of dialogue for that character. In a game, you want that character to say 20, 25, 30 different things. So I have to write like a bunch of different stuff because you want the gameplay to be different every time the person plays it.
Nick, what do you think?
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Juliet only has a handful of combos, most of which can't even be strung together, or interrupted, causing me to chainsaw dance long after the zombie's already dead. Devil may cry, this is not, but devil may care, who gives a fuck, because it's not trying to be. Lollipop Chainsaw wants to take you for a ride. A schlocky, boobs, butts, blood, and bukkake covered ride.
I think those zombies were trying to bukkake me.
The concept was made by Suda51, and gameplay-wise it definitely feels like it. Similar to No More Heroes in a lot of ways, cut-em-up segments punctuated by boss fights, with the occasional minigame sprinkled throughout. The real difference lies in its writing. It really does come across as a James Gunn script.
You think that hurts me? I just jizzed a little!
More so than that, it comes across as an early James Gunn script, Troma era to be specific. Troma, for those that don't know, is a production company specializing in shock exploitation films. Films full of nudity and gore, trying their hardest to do exactly as its namesake entails, shock the viewer. James Gunn, being the self-proclaimed provocateur that he is, slotted in nicely. With his first writing credit being on Tromeo and Juliet. Troma's take on Romeo and Juliet, if you couldn't tell. A tale as old as time, involving incest, monster penis, incest, big mutant cow penis, death by ladder pun.
Happens to everyone sooner or later.
And for good measure, more incest. This shock humor followed James Gunn for a long time, with Lollipop Chainsaw being the last hurrah for that side of the filmmaker. Am I saying Lollipop Chainsaw is exactly like a Troma movie? No, you could probably put a couple other companies in its place, but it fundamentally falls into that B-movie schlock category, with its irreverent style harkening back to a time when people were a little less sensitive.
Oh wait, sorry. I didn't mean to be insensitive. Die!
The insanity of the story being played straight, with the humor coming from the absurdity of it all. A punk rock zombie god, played by Jimmy Urine, screaming physical obscenities at you.
Fucking bitch!
Sticks and stones my ass. You'll play basketball and baseball against the undead, or cut them up with a tractor for pretty much no reason.
Shut up, grass!
Zombies will shout out random things, which to me is funnier than it should be. I've always liked the idea of zombies talking, not in a there's still some humanity left way, but more like a rotting brain transmitting its final thoughts, or maybe even some repressed feelings. Some even speak just as sexualized Juliet.
Never thought I'd be saved by someone with such great tits.
And yeah, Juliet is extremely sexualized, even going as far as to include an achievement for looking up her skirt, which may or may not have been the first achievement I got.
Hey, her! Don't be looking at my skirt!
Her hypersexualized nature doesn't define her. She's incredibly strong, confident, and optimistic to an almost infectious degree. Anyone who dares to objectify her can meet the wrong end of her chainsaw. However, this doesn't mean she's a saint. She basically holds Nick hostage, keeping him alive as a severed head against his wishes. Honestly, Nick probably gets objectified more than Juliet does, becoming a literal object for her, being treated as nothing more than an accessory.
I am not an it.
So there's a little subtext for your big titty zombie hunting game. Lollipop Chainsaw is a fun, if simple, action game that stylistically plays with a mixture of 50s Americana and 70s grindhouse that has been infused with 80s exploitation. Written in an immature, exploitative way that we don't really see in video games. And yes, I'm using immature and exploitative as pros in this sense. It's just hard not to find this game charming. It may not be a perfect game, but it makes for a pretty great B-movie.
You're already dead.
NANI?
Lollipop Chainsaw, coming soon to home video. It was just announced that we're getting a remake, or maybe it's a remaster. I'm not entirely sure. To quote a Chainsaw brethren, who will survive and what will be left of them? Do you think the remake will cut content, removing things that could be considered too controversial? I certainly hope not. A little depravity is good for you now and again. I hope it comes to the Switch. I'll gladly play it while sitting on the toilet. Full circle.